You know, we were created to partner with God and bring heaven to earth. But we still see so much evil and pain. So what's the problem? What delays heaven from coming? What delays the kingdom from being fully manifested and allows Satan to linger as apparent ruler of this world? Much of the problem can be traced back to identity. Identity dictates behavior. There's a popular belief in the world system that who you are is what you do. You heard that? Unfortunately, this creates a behavior-based sin identity. And if you agree with this concept, it will put you on the treadmill of toil and duty, and you will never be able to get off. Paul said in Romans 7:17, "But now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me." Paul was breaking agreement with a sin identity because he knew that his identity dictates behavior. And he knew that behavior can never provide identity. If I bark like a dog, does that make me a dog? No. But if I believe that I am a dog, then my behavior will surely follow. We are not who our wrong behaviors try to tell us we are, nor do our good deeds make us righteous before God. The truth is, we are who God says we are. We are His own special people. We are the righteousness of Christ. And as He is, so are we in this world. Heaven will come to earth only through those who know who they are and walk in an intimate covenant relationship with God. This kind of relationship is reserved for His kids. Those who know who they are, that they are a beloved child of the Father, and that they have authority of the King. Now, you might think this kind of relationship is hard to obtain, but it's not. In fact, Jesus did all the work, and now it's free to whoever wants it. The Bible calls it our inheritance. Galatians 3:26 says, "For you are all sons of God through faith in Christ Jesus." And Galatians 4:6, "Because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into your hearts, crying out, 'Abba, Father.' Therefore, you are no longer a slave, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of God. An heir of God through Christ." If we're an heir of God, what do we inherit? His kingdom, heaven on earth. But what could stop an inheritance? The kingdom, along with this planet, belong to us. The Father wants us to know and to experience heaven on earth. Luke 12:32 says, "Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." The only thing that can stop us from receiving what belongs to us is if we don't accept it. I can see two main deceptions that could cause this. One, a false identity, and two, trying to pay for it instead of receiving it as a gift. So, imagine that you've been called into a lawyer's office to hear the reading of a will. You arrive a little confused as to what this is all about. The lawyer says, your father who adopted you has died, and he left everything to you. Furthermore, the lawyer says, this is the grandest inheritance he's ever seen. Your father was the richest king ever, and he left the entire kingdom to you. The lawyer looks to you, awaiting a response. But still in shock and confused, you finally mutter, sorry, you must have the wrong person. This was not my father. The lawyer argues with you. That's what lawyers do. And he pulls out the adoption papers. And he reads Romans 8:15. And he says, for you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs. Heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. And then he pulls out Galatians 3:29. And if you were Christ, then you were Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. And then he pulls out Galatians 4:7. Therefore you are no longer a slave, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of God through Christ. After receiving all these documents and wanting now to believe, but still not sure, you say, okay, but how much do I owe? The lawyer says, nothing. This is an inheritance. You can't buy it. If you try to pay for it, you'll never be able to afford it. And you say, but it's too much. I just can't accept it. So I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to pay for it. And then hopefully I'll earn it by the time I die. Sorry, the lawyer says. As Peter told Simon the magician, your money perished with you because you thought that the gift of God could be purchased with money. You see, we are the children of God with the authority to bring heaven to earth. But we've been deceived out of our inheritance. Our identities have been lost, and we've tried to work for that which cannot be earned. Getting it all back is not a matter of earning. It's about believing and receiving. And the most amazing thing is that it's not just about you. All of creation is waiting for us to claim this inheritance. You know, I've seen videos that depict the enormity of the universe. They make a person feel small and insignificant. And one of them ends with this statement, you are not the center of the universe. Now, I agree that the universe is enormous, but actually, you are the center of it. If this planet is where Satan fell, and therefore earth is the only place evil exists, then earth is the only place not under the rule of heaven. So where do you think God's attention is? Right here. His attention is on you and me. You and I are the keys to what He wants to see happen. All creation is eagerly waiting for you and I to wake up to who we are and to fulfill our call as sons and daughters of the Most High. Romans 8:19-21 says it this way, for the earnest expectation of the creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God. The created world itself can hardly wait for what's coming next. Everything in creation is being more or less held back. God reins it in until both creation and all the creatures are ready and can be released at the same moment into the glorious times ahead. Meanwhile, the joyful anticipation deepens. That's from the Message version. God, mankind, the earth itself, and every created thing is waiting for us to wake up to who we are and do what we were created to do. No wonder Jesus said, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. And he said, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people. This is who we are. And bringing heaven to earth is what we do.